do you believe in magic?
I feel like that should be a song. So are we
I
supposed to sing
know.
that? Do you
I'm
believe
just,
it? I can't
well,
think of
usually
it. But...
there's a bit of singing going on for me who sings exceptionally well. Don't know why no one's asked me to sing in a band. My nose just grew, Pinocchio. But I'm going to ask you, what is magic? Let's just actually define. And Moira's answer to magic may be different to mine, which may be different to you, listeners.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a boy or a girl, or if you're older or younger, or whatever life experiences you've had will define what magic is differently.
Mm-hmm.
So there is no right or wrong, just like that number, that tool assessment. Just what does magic mean to you or look like to you? Or is it a color? Is it a number? What is magic?
Debz is a stressologist. She will stretch your mindset to think bigger than you've ever thought before, with follow-through techniques that are realistic and achievable to blow any fear out of your mind. Moira is a mindset cultivator. She will help you align your personal trinity of self-trust, inner awareness, and self-confidence so that you discover and share your unique gifts and purpose. Together, their goal with these conversations is to share how our inclinations do not always work in our best interest and to provide the knowledge to leverage the gifts that already exist within each one of us. Their desire is to help you learn how to access the habits and behaviors that will lead to positive change and your best quality of life. Welcome to your deliciously motivated mindset.
Here we go. Here we go.
We are on.
We are live. This is Debz and Moira with our deliciously motivated mindset. Do we say conversations or podcasts? I don't really.
We say it's interchangeable, I think.
Whatever.
Or podcast conversation.
Yeah, a P and a C or a C and a P. Whatever you want to call it. That's Anyway, this is Debz and this is Moira. Welcome, everybody.
Welcome.
We do say this is a goodie. This is going to be an interesting one.
Oh, yes. This is going to be a sparkly one.
I was just going to say it's going to be a sparkly, magical one.
Yes.
Do you believe in magic? And we have no idea where we're going. But anyway, if you've listened to us before, welcome. If you haven't listened to us before, welcome.
Welcome.
And welcome. Yay. And you can thank the person who introduced you later. But one of the things we do every time we kick off one of these is check in on our number. I don't know if we actually have a label for it. What do we know?
No, we call it like a tool or an assessment tool. That's what
assessment tool.
Assessment
okay.
Tool. Mm-hmm.
And okay, good, because I'm like, do we actually label this? and our assessment tool is a 0 to 10 number. 0 to 10 for people who speak differently to me. And that 10, which is between the 9 and 11, is chaotic. It's when you're emotionally feel like you're physically, emotionally
discombobulated, stuck.
Yeah, broken.
Chaotic.
Which we know, when you drop that glass and there's millions of pieces of glass, that's where you're at. You're like, okay, great. And we've all been in a 10 before. Mm-hmm. Don't you worry. We've all been in a 10. And above. Beyond. That's it. And the 0 is where you're sitting in such a beautiful space that you're in a bubble, aware of what's around you, and it's just not affecting you. And it's magic. It's a place to be where you're zen, you're neutral, you're running your life your way.
Yes.
That'd be it.
Yeah,
we do try and describe it differently each time, don't we?
Yeah, I know we do.
I don't know
Depends on what's going on for us, right?
Yeah, that's the one. So that 0 to 10 is just an assessment tool. It's just a number. You don't have to stick to it. It's just about going, oh, no wonder I'm sitting there. Because before I recorded, and I'll just say this, before I recorded, I said to Moira, I've got to figure out a number. I said, I feel like I'm a 0. And then we both giggled, and then the dogs went frantic, and I went, oh, that's probably the cleaner come early, and I ran out there and I ran back, and it wasn't the cleaner, it's the courier, and this whole crazy, I know you can feel it. So my 0 went down to a 2, and I've got that hyper voice that my mum goes, slow your speech down, Deborah. and so because of the courier and because of the dogs and everything, I feel like I'm at a 1.5. I'm not going to say a 2, a 1.5. But prior to that, I was a 0, literally until the dogs barked and I went into panic mode. So that's how quick it can happen. And it's just a flipping number. So I'm a 1.5. Moira, where are you?
What the funny thing is I'm a 1.5 too. That's why I giggled.
Oh, really?
It's like, oh, me too.
So she didn't have the courier and she didn't have the dogs.
Nope,
and she didn't
nope. But I do definitely have it's some tickle in my throat, like a, and I suddenly need to keep blowing my nose, like
oh wow,
my nose. Yeah, so I'm like, what's this?
Something's running.
Sparkly, magical, flowing thing.
Yeah. So you can just see how I mean, there was a whole build up to that number, just for the record, people, because but it just shows you how it's just a number. That's it. So we're both 1.5. Funny. And we're going to talk today about, do you believe in magic?
I feel like that should be a song. Are we supposed
to
sing that? Do you believe it? I can't.
Well, usually there's a bit of singing going on for me, who sings exceptionally well. Don't know why no one's asked me to sing in a band. My nose just grew, Pinocchio. But I'm going to ask you, what is magic? Let's just actually define. And Moira's answer to magic may be different to mine, which may be different to you, listeners. If you're a boy or a girl, or if you're older or younger, or whatever life experiences you've had, will define what magic is differently. So there is no right or wrong, just like that number, that tool assessment. Just what does magic mean to you, or look like to you? Or is it a color? Is it a number? What is magic?
Excellent question. Really. I think magic.
This is going to be the whole podcast on this.
Yeah, maybe. What is magic?
Yeah.
I think magic is like, it goes beyond the realm of what my head thinks is the outcome. And it's got like, I think of sparkles, I think of, the magic wand and wizardry and elemental.
Is it beyond
energies.
Reality, or beyond? Oh no, it's not reality. Beyond the. Is it beyond?
Well, it could be. It could be beyond
the brain.
Yeah, definitely beyond the brain, beyond the thinking mind, for sure. So, but it's like there's a sense of excitement, of so let's say I want to see a certain outcome in a project that I've put into place, and so I'm going to just say, actually, let's talk about developing my cards.
Okay.
So developing my card, I've developed a deck of cards called Liberate Your Inner Truth. That was an idea that I wanted to create that, and it was just kind of buzzing around. And so that, for me, the outcome is I want to create these cards. Something magical did happen in that. It actually, the cards, it's 52 cards in this deck. The definitions for them all were written in one day.
Oh, see, I was going to say unheard of in the normal brain, but
yeah,
but that's
taking it out into another level.
Magic.
Yeah. So and even like sometimes I go back and I read the things like, where on earth did that come from? So yeah. So that is, it is about coming out of our head and allowing the flow, the divine, the sparkly, the amazing, I was going to say outlandish, but it does land. So it can be that though, can't it?
Yeah, well, yeah. So what? I don't know. Yeah. Just for the record, Deborah usually doesn't stop talking. But it's hard for words to
to kind of pin it down, don't you think?
Well, I just wrote down and got my little hair sticking up, is that it's the head versus the heart.
Oh, definitely. Most
and
definitely.
I would say if I was to define what magic is, it's living in the heart.
Heart-centered.
Heart-centered.
It comes from the heart. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's actually probably tip number one would be.
Yeah.
Is look at the head versus the heart. And they call it masculine and feminine. I know more and more people is talking about the feminine or the masculine and the head versus the heart, but you've got to have both.
You can't,
definitely.
We all have both.
Yeah.
But
and so I would say magic is the head versus the heart, being in the heart. And there's nothing wrong with being in the head because the head makes decisions.
Well, we need but we need to find the right balance of it. We can't lead just with, unfortunately, in the Western world, we have been conditioned to lead with the masculine, the logical, the think things through, the plan it out, the set the goals, take the steps, do the actions. That's all the masculine thrust forward, get it done. Whereas magic is the realm of the feminine. And so that's what we're saying is, do you believe in magic? So do you?
Is there a song, do you believe in magic? I do want to break out in a song. I
do.
feel like
me too. That's what I said to you. That's what I said to you. I felt like we had to sing it. And usually when that kind of comes up, I'm pretty good at bringing it in. So I'm thinking there must be something missing.
Yeah,
Do you believe in magic?
Yeah. I think I'm gonna put in another tip is oh wow, I'm really hitting it. Well, I'm gonna say, do you believe in magic? It's okay to believe in it, and it's okay not to believe in it. I think
that's what this is it's not, you're not flawed if you do, and you're not flawed if you don't. It's just do you?
So and it's okay to move from yes, no, maybe. Like it's don't beat yourself up that today you're like, I believe in magic. Oh, that happened to me, so that's just a crock of whatever. It's okay to move from it's okay to move from your assessment tool from a 10 to a 0. Or it's okay to believe in it, not believe in it. Today you might not believe in it. Tomorrow you might. And the in between might be maybe. And just so you know, maybe is actually yes, but I'm not ready to look yet.
Right.
Okay.
I like
so
that.
you either yes or you don't, yes, no, or maybe, which is a yes, but when you're ready.
So that made me think of another tip that I just wrote down. Kind of here, we're gonna feed off each other and create this big ladder of awesome
I have
tips.
no tips for this. I have nothing. My mind is blank, which is not the normal Deborah.
Not the normal Deborah, but see, there's some magic coming
out. Yeah. Who knows?
So my tip is about having willingness to flow, right? So it's like, okay, your head, because you know what? Your head, the logic is always going to say, nonsense, magic doesn't happen. That's all only in fairy tales. What are you talking about?
Fairy tales, which we loved growing up.
I love fairy tales.
And still do.
Yeah, absolutely. I talk to fairies when I go to the woods,
Oh, you have some amazing little tales for you when you go.
Yeah.
And I think,
don't you think that that's a really important part? One is to just have the willingness, but the willingness to come into your heart, to come into, listen to what's your wisdom saying. It might be whispering yes. It might be. Do you have the willingness to go and listen?
And I think be open to what's around is the other thing. I know and when I think about that, with that willingness, one of the when I did a course with Dr. John DeMartini, one of the exercises he gets you to do is go out in the lunchtime, go out and pick up 5 objects that just look at you just see them, bang, 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 bang. Don't overthink them. Just see 5 objects and then put them in an order. And what do they mean to you? And I was like, oh, this is a stupid flipping exercise. You want me to go out and do this? And for every time I looked, all I could see was cigarette butts for a start. I'm like, I'm not picking those things up. You've got to be joking. And then I saw a dog poo, and I was like, and I was like, okay, Deborah. So this is Deborah talking about cigarette butts and dog poo, but this is this be open to what's around, and just that little exercise there actually just opened my eyes to what does this mean, without doing this running a course. Like, oh wow, okay, I had. What does cigarette butts mean? Could mean butt, it could mean smell, it could be whatever I label it. It could be ease, someone's thrown away something they've discarded, it could be anything. But be open to what's around, and I love that. So have your eyes open.
I think that's actually a tip all of its own, because what I heard you say is like to be open to what's around you, but also give it the meaning, your meaning. Not what somebody's told you it means. It's just because what I was thinking of.
Actually, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I was thinking of sometimes if you're driving somewhere and you keep seeing stop signs, and sometimes you keep seeing stop signs because it's the universe giving you some magic insight to say, stop doing that, stop thinking those thoughts, stop telling that story, stop doing things in that way. Or other times it's just a stop sign, right?
Oh, yeah. And I have to giggle, because two things just came up then. Is I write my notes on a beautiful piece of paper. Actually, it's beautiful because it's all my scrap paper that I'm no longer using, and it's white. And as we said, to be open to what's around and give it meaning, an eyelash, I'm not even touching my eyes, literally just landed on that same thing. And I went,
awesome.
Wow. There's clearly something going on there. And I've never,
magic.
I know. So that's it. So yeah, be open to, and it just went, and I was like, what is that? And then I went, oh my God, that's an eyelash. And I'm like, I've never noticed anything. And I wasn't even rubbing so that whole thing. So then the next thing is, don't rush things.
Yeah.
So into those two, the next tip is, don't rush things. Like, desperation isn't gonna, magic happens when you're not desperate. Because if you're going to be open.
Yeah, because you see, by being open, it allows you, it's almost like being open allows you to feel or sense or be in alignment with the flow of the universe. I have an example of this to share that just happened today. I'm an old-fashioned gal when it comes to scheduling, and I have it's actually a week at a time day timer, and so everything that I do is written in this day timer. And so every year,
it's like my dad. Everything's written in the book. Goodness knows if he lost the book.
But there's really it's all purpley and
it would be
and butterflies and magical essences and all that kind of fun stuff. Of course. So magic. I went for a walk in the woods today, and I was just totally out of the blue. I started thinking about last year's order for Daytimer, which is for the 2023 Daytimer. I had to order it twice because the first order went missing in the mail. I actually got sent to the wrong address, and I figured that out and just reordered it, because it's like, well, Daytimer shipped it to whatever address they thought was right, and I don't know where it went, and so I just reordered it. And so it was really strange to me. My thinking mind is like, well, that's kind of random. Like, why would I start thinking about that? And I came back, and there was an email from Daytimer saying, can you just confirm your address, because we're sending you a refund. So they'd figured it out. Isn't that amazing? I've got goosebumps telling you that, because it's kind of like, wow. So I was like so into that whole energy. It's like, I don't get my money back.
I love, I'm actually done another quick tip about that, as in Goosey's is numbered the next tip, but that's exactly it. And yeah, these signs are there. These signs are there all the time. Like when you think about somebody, and you go, oh God, I haven't spoken to my friend for so long, I wonder how they're doing, and magically they're thinking about you at the same time. And you can label that magic, you can label that quantum fit, you can label it whatever you would like.
Intuition,
quantum entanglement.
Quantum entanglement, absolutely.
Yeah, whatever you label it, that's a, I know, just label it. That's a part of it.
Yeah.
You have to know how, that's just that part of that. So those physical signs, and I say physical because I just go goosies or recties, hairs up or anything like that. You know, when you're listening to a, okay, I'm just going to go into another tip as well then. Jot it down. Okay, I'm just jot it down, because when you listen to a piece of music and you feel it and you're like, oh, this moved me, take a note of, you know, we do that tool assessment of the 0 to 10. Take a note of that music. It's not just the music, was it the words? And what was going on around you? You know, you see a car and you smile and you go, wow, I wonder what that's about. Like, that's a white car. Never seen that car before. It's just a standard 4-wheel drive, whatever. And you're like, wow, I just had a beautiful experience with that. So jot those things down, because that's all the magic that is happening around you. And it's there for you to see. It's up to you if you want to see it or not. But I think it's a lovely thing, you know, to look at that and go, wow, there was that song. And this Do You Believe in Magic? I feel there's a song about it, and I feel it. Whenever you said,
and if there's not, then we should make one.
Because I'm such a good singer. Yeah, totally up for that. But it is. There's something there bigger than our ego, our humbleness, bigger than us, whatever it is. But that, and I know I jumped quickly into don't rush things, desperation, give it a meaning, you know, signs and the goosies and jot it down. But yeah.
But I think just to sort of riff a
recap everything
on what
Deborah
you
just
were
went,
saying, is that it, what you were saying about pay attention when if you feel really moved by a piece of music. I would I'd expand that to say when you feel moved by something or someone. So it could be a piece of music, or it could be the sunset on a beach, or it could be the way somebody spoke to you, or the words they used, or just a child in the supermarket, or a smile that you exchange with somebody. Because when we're very present to something and just go, it, like my story that I just shared, because I had to laugh out loud, because here's me having this random thought, and then come in, and it literally came in, checked my computer, and there's the email.
Which it's so, and then you're like, of course.
I know. Thank you, but of course.
Yeah. And well, those jot it down can also be, and I'm gonna pull the other side of that. They can also be triggers. You may know someone who, like I had a lovely lady who wouldn't work with me because red was my branding. She didn't like the color red. In fact, I actually messaged her last night, funnily enough, but she couldn't work with me because she doesn't like the red, and it was a trigger for her. And so these can be triggers as well. They can take you to another side, but these beautiful surroundings of what we've got are lovely. And I know my daughter, I was bringing my daughter and my mum, and so one of the things my mum does is, when she doesn't do it to me, she does it to my daughter, and she hugs her and she just gives her a little a kiss on the neck type thing, you know, by the ear, but she goes and then gives her a kiss. And I didn't know that, and I did this recently to my daughter at Christmas time. I gave her a hug and I went, oh, like this, and she went, have you been talking to Nana? I was like, what? She's like, have you been talking to Nana? I was like, what are you talking about? She goes, that's what Nana does. I was like, she doesn't do that to me. I don't get the kiss there and the smooch. And she goes, oh, she always inhales me, gives me this smooch, and then moves on. And I was like, oh, I didn't know that. And I was like, why does she do that to my daughter? But but it was such a beautiful thing that, you know, that she does that, and it brings Sophie back to Nana. You know, it's like, oh, and so these are the magic of, some people can call them triggers or not, but I mean, it can trigger things, but it's a beautiful, like, oh, well, you just did a Nana on me. You just did a Nana on me, you know.
So I like that, because I think I'd made a note of one of the questions that I encourage people to use, my students and clients, is, how does this make me feel about me?
Oh, okay.
So to me, that actually helps you differentiate between an uplifting, beautiful, there's magic, as opposed to oh, I'm triggered and I've just been taken down some spiral down
dark hole. That's
exactly. Because if and I love that story. So how does this make me feel about me? When Sophie said that, it makes you feel like, ah, right? So that to me is a beautiful magic piece, and the dogs are confirming that too. They think it's a magic piece. So see, they believe in magic, don't they?
They pull out most magic on me.
Too funny. They're obviously saying there's magic knocking at the door, Deb.
Oh, just give me. I'm just gonna have to figure this one out. We're gonna believe in magic for one moment, caller.
Okay. And so now we're magically back after Debz quieted her dogs, who are confirming that they believe in magic. The magic of getting Mum to come and open the door.
Yeah, because I shut one of their entrances. They're like, "Can you just open that door?" I'm like, sure.
But of course.
But of course, my darlings.
But what were we talking? We were talking about using that question that I suggested about how does this make me feel about me is a beautiful way to differentiate between, is this an example of my own magic right in front of me, or is this a trigger? Is this something that I need to go and work on? Because sometimes that can happen too, right?
Yeah, and well, that's that overthinking too, and that's that assessment tool of the 0 to 10.
Absolutely, yeah.
How does this make me feel about me? And I guess the other thing is it's okay, which goes back to one of our tips. It's either a yes, no, or a maybe. You know, it's okay no matter what it is.
Yeah, because we're having this conversation about saying, do you believe in magic? This is not about us saying you have to believe in magic, or you better believe in magic, or what's wrong with you if you don't. It's about, do you? And will you have some fun with it?
And I'm still going to like you.
Of course.
Maybe to a degree. If you...
we might not have a certain conversations with you.
Yeah. If you believe in it or not. But I think that's another one, is that our environment, I seem to be talking more and more about that. Yeah. Interesting. Because our environment is so important, and you gel with people who you have conversations with, and you repel against people who disagree with you. You know, and 2020 brought up all that of, oh, I like that person, I don't like that person, oh, I can gel with that person. And it's okay to change your environment like you change your undies. You can change your environment daily. Actually, you're changing undies daily, people? I don't know.
I hope so.
I'd like to think that you're doing it daily. Do you believe in magic? Yeah, they'll be fine after a week. Sometimes maybe your examples can't. Okay, we're going down a different path there. But it's but it is that it's okay to be okay and not okay type thing with the surroundings. It's all changeable.
A quick wee message before we get back to this episode. You can get access to a special gift Moira and Debz have put together for you. Go to deliciouslymotivatedmindset.com/gift. When you sign up, you'll receive instant access to an inner peace kit and the 30 Days of Wisdom program, both of which is intended to help you feel deliciously motivated right away. Go to deliciouslymotivatedmindset.com/gift.
It's all changeable. And you know, and I bring this up because you have of late been bringing up that thing about environment, and that environment is like the people around you as well as the physical appearance of the space you're in. To me, it's about having things in your environment that speak about you, because your environment is actually a reflection of your inner landscape. And so, for instance, my husband's not into crystals or chakras or angels or cuddly toys, or things like that. But
so he's into Princess and you. That's okay.
Right. That's it.
Princess is a cat, in case.
Princess is my cat. Yes.
In case you think Moira has an alter ego. She does.
You never know.
But
the point being is that I surround myself in that And he actually honors that anyways, because this is my space.
That's part
so
of
I'm
you.
going to have the
Yeah.
crystals and there's a sound therapy bowl right there, and then there's my heart. There's my hearts and my card
Oh,
decks and everything, right? So it's like that is so important when we really get into the environment that we spend a lot of time in. The majority of our time, I spend the majority of my time in this space where I'm speaking to you from. This is my office. This is where I do a lot of my creative space, but it's also where I see clients and teach from here too. So therefore, there's a big imprint of me here. And so when I look around me, I can feel the magic or feel the depths of that energy. So I think that's how calm environment to me is super, super important. Right.
Well, it can take you up or take you down.
Yeah.
Like that. And it can be changed at any time. And I went to a conference recently, and one of the things they gave us as a gift where I spoke was a candle, and it was a Juvenate skincare candle, and it's literally behind me, and I've taken the lid off it.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah. And I walk into my office, and it's because I used to have vanilla candle, and I don't have to light it. I just leave it in my office, and I can come in here and I can smell it as I come through the entranceway, and then I'm like, and it lights me up, and it brings back the fun, the pain from the conference. You know, I've still got my blisters so many weeks on. You know, it just brings it, and it just makes me feel beautiful again. And I reference glitter, and you know, that surrounding. If it's not
about magic, by the way.
Yeah, talking about magic. Yeah, if it's not magical and gives you that, then reassess it, and it's okay to reassess it. You know, who we were last week. In fact, Moira and I were just talking about how our podcasts have changed.
Yeah.
They've evolved and changed, and then Moira said we're nearly 200. Well, I don't know where we're at.
Well, I think this is episode 170 something.
Yeah, so I'm just like, these are just really different podcasts from when we first started. And then we realized we started these a couple of years ago, actually probably longer than that. Yeah, it would have been. Yeah, but of course we've changed.
Yeah.
So it's going with that. Life is ever evolving. You go with it or you don't. Like it's your choice. And our surroundings are important to change. Who you were 20 years ago is not who you were now.
That's right.
Who we were last week, who we were at Christmas, you know, who I was when I ran out to find out what the dogs were barking at. And then I'm back to my heart again. Yeah, exactly. So we evolve. So whether that's actually, maybe that's another tip, is evolve with you.
Yeah, I like that. But what I was writing down there is I like that, evolve with you, but it's also to staying present to what is.
Can that be a program we do? Evolve with you.
I like that. Yeah, we should do that.
Well, if you'd like that program, we can put that together. You have to tell us. Yeah. Yeah, because that would be a beautiful one. Yeah.
It really
evolve with you.
Because you see, that's that whole thing about we've talked about this before, is that when you evolve with you and you flow with magic to whatever degree feels right or not to you, then you don't look over your shoulder and say, oh, I used to be able to do this.
Oh,
there's no magic in that.
I can't touch my toes. I can't touch my toes. Yeah, well, you're 9 months pregnant. Of course you can't touch toes. Nobody can touch your toes. No one wants to get underneath you to touch your toes. Like, life's changed. You know, I can't do this. And yeah, evolve with you, because you have evolved over time. We all have. And whether you think you're going back, you're actually not. And that goes back to the old saying, it's all on the way, not in the way.
Yeah. It's all part, but it's also all part of your own divine design. Right? That we are all the what is it? We're the authors, the actors, and the actors in our own life script. And so if something's happening that we don't like, we can go, hey, say, oh, whoops, I have to just rewrite this segment because I'm the author. And then I get to take on the role and adapt it and finesse it and put a wee bit of sparkle on it, because I want sparkle. Purple sparkle, by the way.
Yeah, and I'll do the gold. I won't do the red then. I went to say red, and I went, no, it's gold actually. Actually, we are golden. Ours is golden purple, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Our logo is golden purple. Yeah,
that's what I'm like. Hang on, why have we not done that? Of course it is.
Yeah. Okay, we have to come up with some sparkles, gold and purple sparkles mixed together.
Okay, I'm good with that. But yeah, I love that evolve with you. I love that evolve with you.
But don't you feel like it has a sense of magic in it? Because regardless of where you are with your own way of seeing that heart-led experience, that it is in an evolution. Right?
Well, who I was, if I was a single mother to my daughter, to my daughter, and I would now, as a 50-year-old woman, a 50-year-old woman, I would, if I was a single mother now, oh God help my child, but I would definitely parent differently.
Of course.
I would 100% parent differently. All my little things, I would do different, because we know grandparents treat children different to their own children.
To their own children, absolutely.
Because I remember a story. I remember my daughter jumping on the couch, and mum was like, "Oh, look so cute! She can get her knees up and high." And I literally sat there and put my feet up on the leather couch. It was cute that Sophie could do it. I literally put the feet up on the leather couch, and mum was in the kitchen behind me, and she threw something. I won't tell you what she threw, and it literally shot past my ear to hit me on the back of the head, whatever. And she said, "Get your feet off the couch." Now she didn't know I had my feet on the couch. She could clearly see the way I was sitting, and I got told off for having my feet on the couch. Where my daughter,
but your daughter, it was okay.
She was jumping. There's difference. She was jumping. Look how high she can get her knees up. What? And so we do things differently. And, I was brought up, you don't put your feet on the couch. I'm like, okay, I'm an older woman now. I can put my feet on the couch if I want to put my feet on the couch. But no, not in my mother's house. And by the way, she's got chaise now. So for people like me who want to go there and put my feet up. But we evolve with us. We evolve and we change. And it's okay. But I do remember going, why does my daughter get treated differently to me? This is not fair. But back in that day, mum and dad were working. I remember mum having 4 jobs to tend to us, and ferrying us around, my sister and I, for sport and everything else we could possibly do. Let's just do it all. Okay, sure, I'll just continue. But now it's very different. Who we are is very different. So I think it's a real acknowledgement of, and I guess maybe that's the thing, is acknowledge your past. Maybe that's the thing. And maybe the next tip is acknowledge your past with gratitude.
I love that. I think that's super important, because if we don't, then you do get into it's not fair.
Yeah.
And that's that's yanking you out of the present and having the joy of what's your own child getting to do and
why does she get that? I didn't get that? Well, back then mum, dad probably couldn't make ends meet as much as they could now. Or and they're, whatever, but acknowledge your past, and it has to be with gratitude, essentially with gratitude, because that's the magic. That is the magic right there.
And then release it. Right? You release your past, because we're not going to keep telling the same story and regurgitate that either, right? It's like if something comes up, something gets triggered, or you have a memory, it's like, okay, yep, thanks very much, that was a great experience, and let it go. I'm all about the letting go too. And release.
Yeah.
And talking about letting go and releasing, we need to start wrapping up this episode and letting go and releasing.
No, we don't.
Oh, that's because if we believe in magic, then we can just, wave our wand and continue talking for the next hour.
And everybody got all those tips, and they all wrote them down, and they got all tips to their heart. That's it. Okay, realistically.
There you go. Well, talking about tips, dear listeners, we encourage you to pick up a pen, pencil, writing instrument, or tap it into your notes on your phone.
I probably didn't say that at the start, did I?
Might not, but that's okay, because we're going to do a fast little recap and run through all the tips that we've got here. And so why don't you kick us off with tip number 1?
tip number 1 was the head versus the heart.
Yes.
Simple. Are you in your head? Where is that head? Let's bring everything back to the heart, because that is where the magic is really created.
Absolutely. Created and felt too, isn't it? Definitely.
It embodies you.
Yeah. Embodies.
Yeah,
I like
heart.
that word. Embodies.
Yeah.
Embodying it. The next tip that I've got here is, and this is in answer to the question, do you believe in magic? It's okay if you do or you don't. This is just an assessment. Yes or no, it's okay. Right? Asking yourself questions. I actually really do believe in personal introspective questions. I think that asking ourselves questions and then just staying present to what the answer comes, bubbles up from our inner wisdom, bubbles up from your heart's desire or your intuitive guidance. It's an important piece, right?
My head is going a million miles an hour thinking of a lot of things. I know. I'm thinking of a lot of things here with this. Yes, no, maybe. Yes, no, maybe. Yes, no, maybe. Yes, no, maybe. The next tip I had was, which we started broach into 2, but we pulled it back to 1, was willingness.
Yeah.
Being
willing to flow.
Yeah, willingness is actually it's just a flow.
Yeah.
Don't try and be the fish swimming up the stream. Just have a willingness. Okay. Well, yes, today I do. No, I don't.
Yeah.
Maybe. It's that willingness to be open, which actually
because there's a creative there's such a creative flow to this, whereas when we're not willing, then we're going to get sticky and jagged energy because we're trying to be logical. There ain't no logic in this one.
Well, when you're not willing, you're also looking at the grass is always green on the other side, aren't you? You're jumping into comparison, and you're definitely out of your head. And if you're not willing, you compare. It takes you downhill very fast.
Comparison and competition, isn't it? They're not very magical.
Yeah.
The next tip that I have down here is to be open to what is around. So that was your example about going and picking up 5 things and then putting them in an order and giving them meaning, your meaning, not ascribing somebody else's prescribed or inherited meaning. It's like, give it your meaning. So just be open. What's in your environment? What's around you? And then give it some. That actually reminds me of something that I've done a lot of, is using the world around you as an oracle.
So,
isn't that cool? Yeah. So you can ask a question, and then maybe a bird song starts chirping, and the bird's saying yes in this song.
Well, also even that, be open to what's around and give it a meaning. People pull a card every day.
Yeah, I do.
Something, yeah,
and I do too every day.
And that's just a leg up. I don't say a leg up. I don't say it's a leg up, but it's actually, okay, this is it. This is it. This is it. And Moira has some cards, by the way.
I do have some cards, and so I pulled today. I actually do pull a card every single day, and today's card that I pulled was,
oh, that's nice.
And actually, you know what? This speaks completely to magic. What I pulled today was the 10 of Cups in a pentacle in my tarot deck. And that is like fulfillment and sparkling magic. And here we are.
Of course.
And here we are.
Of course. So it's be open to what's around.
Yes.
That's it, literally.
There you go.
Yeah.
Be open to the tarot cards too. But that is a beautiful way of setting the stage for being open. And I am a firm believer in pulling an oracle card or a tarot card, because it really helps. I actually always do that and then go do my meditation. So
perfect.
I was just thinking that. No, I don't always. Sometimes I pull it after I've done meditation. So
I love that word always, because you say always and then you go,
and you go,
hang
no,
on.
I don't.
No. They always do this. Actually, no, they don't.
So be careful. That's the magic of it, right?
I love that. And if you require a card, do a card. If you don't require a card, don't do a card. It's
entirely up to you.
Like it's
entirely
a
up to you.
yes, no, or maybe. It's all
That's right.
part of it's all part of that.
Yeah.
So the next one I had, I don't know who's doing it here.
It's yours. It's
okay.
to you.
Okay, it's to me, is don't rush things.
Yes.
And don't rush things. And my thing is desperation don't work. That's it.
Yep.
Desperation don't work.
Yep.
When you're in desperation, you're spiraling. The universe is not going to give you anything but calm your farm, as my cousin Ben would say. Calm your farm. And as soon as you calm your farm, you can see what's out there in front of you.
Right, because remember that we are human beings, not doings. And so when we rush things, we're trying to do. Right? Yeah, I completely agree.
And I think, wasn't that when I had to run out the door and check on the dogs?
It might have been. It might well have been.
That too. Rushing. Yep.
The next one I have down is to watch for the signs. And that's when Deb was talking about her goosebumps. She gets little goosebumps or chill down your neck, or
they say someone's walked over your grave, don't they? They used to be someone just walked over my grave, and I'm like, okay, did they? Righto. I'm still alive though, but yeah.
But the thing is to just pay attention, acknowledge it, see it. And maybe it might be a wee bit of interpretation, like we were just saying about the being open to what's around you and give meaning to it. So if you get a sensation, like I can show an uplifting card and people go, oh, and it
lands.
Yes, but it can land in completely different ways for each person. Just depends on what was being communicated to within them. So it's about so this is about just being aware of the signs and acknowledge them, appreciate them, right?
Yeah. And from that is being aware of them and then jotting them down was which could be the next tip or not, and I talked about music or a movie, and Moira talked about the surroundings and a person, and and color, any of those things. And then Moira ended that with, how does this make me feel about me?
Yeah.
And
that's when the dogs interrupted us.
Oh, is that what it was? Yeah.
Yeah.
And how does this make me feel about me? And it was just such a and I'm going to use the word grounding because it just feels like it's such a grounding. It just pulls it all into one. Like, okay, jot it down and what music, and don't get frustrated and and you can hear that, and then go, okay, how does this make me feel about me?
Yeah.
Wow.
But that's the point of that, is that it helps you differentiate between the things that really uplifted you and felt like a magic flow, or sometimes we can, how does this make me feel about me? Well, it makes me feel scared or worried or concerned or anxious or uptight, or it's something to work on. Maybe you have to pull a card. Maybe you have to journal. Maybe you have to go for a walk outside. Yeah. Hand on your heart and just breathe, right? So it's just about, how does this make me feel about me?
About me, yeah. Perfect.
The next one I have is the environment. Deb talks about environment, and I always like to then go and say, well, our environment is actually a reflection of our inner world. So taking care of squeaky chairs.
Oh God, it's squeaky chair. Look, I'm wobbling down. There's no squeak. Yeah,
no squeaks. That's awesome. But yeah, and so therefore, and you talked a bit about this, that sometimes things that are in our environment might bring us down or trigger us or upset us or drain our energy. And so it's us to make sure that we are tapping into the magic we all have within us and taking care of things so that it is uplifting and soothing and calming and a reflection of what we would like to have around us.
Because you do attract in, like attracts like. And and when we're talking about our surroundings and our environment, I actually went to the other day, I tried on a top that would have been in my wardrobe, and I went, I wonder if I can wear this, and it was clean, but it was creased, and I went, oh, I don't know if this is going to look right. And as soon as I steamed it, I went, oh wow, this looks amazing. And if I'd gone out with that, wearing that crease top, I would have been conscious. I wouldn't have been all those little things, and it took me 5 minutes to steam it, and I just felt so different. Like, wow, this is all part of this is all part of your environment, your surroundings. It's that whatever whatever, dog's having a little bark there, whatever that is, but iron those tops.
Yeah.
Because it will give you a spark back into you, and that's part of that magic. That's all you.
Truly is.
Or don't iron them, own who you are. But if
because
that's
if
what's
that's your
taking you
vibe,
down,
if that's your vibe, and you say, "All right, I'm going to own this," but there it is, own it, right?
Yeah, totally owning it. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, so did you just finish that? Okay.
Yes.
The next one, my next one. The next one is, and we're definitely going to do a program on this, is evolve with you.
I love that. Yes.
Yeah.
Reassess, stay present, and evolve with you. I absolutely love that.
Who you were last week is different. We've moved our podcast. We've moved ourselves energetically. We've both moved a house, actually.
Yes, we have.
Actually, we've both moved. In fact, I've moved twice.
Yes, you have.
I have. I've moved from the South Island to the North Island. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then moved to where you are now.
And then,
yes, you have.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, so you did it twice, and I just did it once, but I'm not doing it again.
Don't do it again. Don't do it again. Don't do it again. But evolve with you. Evolve with you as you evolve. I'm just going to mute myself. You have to jump to the next one.
I'll do the next one. Actually, the next one that I've got here is actually the last one I have. But we're talking about the our past. Acknowledge with gratitude, and then I said release it, let go with gratitude. Like so, and this is when we were saying that sometimes when we're doing our assessment of things that moved us or triggered us, or it can bring up something from the past, and okay, but we don't want to keep repeating it. So we just acknowledge, yep, that was then.
And you don't want to be the same person you were back then. I really don't want to be.
That was
I don't.
So boring.
No, and it is gratitude and release. That's it. It's as simple as that. And that's magic. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. The dogs are definitely agreeing that is certainly magic. Having gratitude for these wee dogs.
Cherubs, the little cherubs. So that's us. Who's wrapping up?
I am actually.
Okay, I'm going to mute as we wrap up, just so you know, because I can feel them right outside my door here.
We'll get you back to say goodbye.
Back into my heart, and at the moment I want to get into my head and do a bit of shouting. But I really have thoroughly enjoyed today. So let me just mute yourself now.
This is an awesome conversation. Absolutely love this. So whether you do or do not believe in magic, we do trust that you got some wisdom, some inspiration, some ideas, some nuggets from these tips that we shared. We'd love to hear from you. What was your favorite one? And do you feel, what's your attitude about magic? And then what we'd also love to hear from you on is, we did our rating at the beginning, and I hope you did your recheck-in at the middle. And now we're all going to check in. Both Deb and I were at a 1.5. So we'd love to hear from our listeners. Where were you to begin with, and where are you now? And so, dear Deb, you were a 1.5. Where are you now?
The talk took me to a 0. The dogs took me to a 2.5.
Right. I kind of had a suspicion of that one.
So this is a beautiful talk. This is beautiful, all the things we said, and that's absolutely magical within me, and my body feels a 0. And now the dogs don't.
But
the dogs in and out, it definitely took me on my movement of numbers. And I'm going to say that's how easy it is. Things can change how quick it can 100%. Be. But I would say a 0, but I'm on edge with my finger over the mute when it happens again. So that's definitely a 2.5 at least.
Yes.
Where are you, my lovely?
I am at a 0. This has been a really lovely, sparkly, wonderful conversation. I really enjoyed this too. And so let us know, listeners, how did it land for you? How are you feeling? And if you loved this episode, your next thing to do is
step is
I have 2 steps for you. Number 1 is tell us what your favorite thing about magic is. And number 2, share this. Share this with people that you love. Share this with people that you want to inspire or uplift or make them laugh or help them see just a different perspective. These conversations, we really our intention with these conversations is to help uplift, to educate, to empower, and to give you some sparkle, some purple sparkle from me and some gold sparkle from Deb.
And some gold over here in New Zealand.
Yes. So, dear listeners, yes, let us know, how did this land for you? And share this episode with your friends, family, loved ones, and all those that you think might need a sparkle. So that's us wrapping this one up. Thank you to our listeners. Thank you, dear Deb and her dogs. Thanks to the internet for these awesome conversations. That's us, and we'll be back here again with you next week. Thank you, Deb.
Thank you, everybody. Thanks, Moira.
Okay, bye.